Tax day is now 16 days behind us, and tax day 2016 is 350 days away. It's a leap year if you're doing the math. On This Week, Michael Devine from the IRS joins us to tell us why people are still talking taxes even after tax season is over.
Well, tax season isn't over for 2015. For most people, it ended April 15th when the filing deadline passed. But for about 165,000 folks in Missouri, you got an extension. You have until October 15th to actually file your tax return.
What are the main reasons people filed extensions?
For a lot of reasons, and we really don't care why you couldn't file, but it was for some reason. Some people had trusts, or maybe they had a fire, or they had some kind of disaster where they literally lost all their paperwork and they just couldn't file because they didn't have everything. They needed more time. So all they do is fill out one simple form. It gives them 6 more months to actually file that tax return.
About 2.5 million people in Missouri went ahead and got their taxes done on time,
yes.
Right? No major problems, not with Affordable Care Act. Any major problems with the IRS this year?
There were no major problems. About 92% of those returns were filed electronically, which means those were the most accurate returns. And if people were going to get a refund, if they had direct deposit, they got their money back faster. And for those people who filed electronically but had to pay, they could have had that money come directly out of their bank account on April 15th, no matter when they filed, so that they didn't have to worry about, writing a check and mailing it. And every year I hear stories about people who use a computer, they print it out, they write the check, they put it in the envelope, and they set it aside, and then they put 12 things on top of it, and they find it about April 20th. Which means now they have to send a bigger check because they're late, and those penalties start adding up as soon as you miss the deadline.
Or as the sun starts coming out in the summer, you let down the visor and it falls in your lap.
Everything can happen. There's lots of reasons. So that's why you should always file before the 15th, and not just your federal return, your state return. I live in Illinois. I work in St. Louis, so I get to do 2 state returns in addition to my federal return.
Yeah, Missouri likes you to do that.
They do. I've done both returns by paper when I first started working in St. Louis, and then I got smart. And I use a tax program, same one for years, and I pay a little bit more money to do a second state return, but it's so much faster to put the information in the computer one time for my federal return, and just click a button, make sure that everything's correct on the state returns, and it's done.
And you were saying, of course, the IRS is your life. That's your profession. You think about taxes year-round, but it's not too early to start thinking about next year, right?
If you think back to this year and you're realizing, oh, I wanted to go to the tax preparer, I wanted to do it myself, and you couldn't find a piece of paper, that means you need some kind of a filing system. Literally as simple as a box with the word tax stuff written on it, so that anything that comes in and you think, oh, maybe I need this for my taxes, it needs to go in one place so that when you get ready to do your taxes or go see your tax professional, you've got all the paper in one place at one time. It just makes it so much easier for everybody.
And really quickly, Michael, on fraud, people are still calling the station about this. The IRS will never call you by phone and never email you, right?
Well, we won't call you unexpectedly.
Sure.
We may call you if you've been working with the IRS on a tax problem. We might call you, but it's that unexpected, out of the blue, threatening phone call. You get a phone call that says, this is Agent Jones from the IRS, and I'm calling you about the tax bill that you didn't pay last year, and if you don't pay it in the next 30 minutes, we're going to have the sheriff come over and arrest you.
Hang up.
Hang up. Just hang up. Don't believe it. If the IRS needs to talk to you about your taxes, we're going to send you a letter through the mail. Your name will be spelled correctly. The information will be correct. It will be on one issue. And remember, if you ever have to pay the IRS, there's a lot of ways to do it, and none of those include a wire transfer or a debit card that you have to go buy at a grocery store. Just be very skeptical of anybody who calls from the government and says, you owe us money, you have to pay it right now. If you do owe money to the IRS and back taxes, you've got rights. You can appeal any decision that's made. You may not actually owe it, and if you do owe it, we're going to help you figure out how you can pay it without damaging your lifestyle.
Michael Devine, words of wisdom. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.